This video is going to cover how to make a 3-column bar graph with a line graph over top displaying the average of your data set. So here I have a sample data set collected over the course of 10 days, and I used 3 different subjects, and I basically measured how much water they consumed throughout the school day, and this is measured in liters. So the first thing we need to do is take the average across each of the 3 subjects each day. So we can just type equals sum and then highlight our 3 columns with the data and divide it by 3 since we have 3 different subjects. So then Excel automatically will do the calculation, and then we can drag down across our table so that it will do it for each of the rows. Highlight the whole data set, and we'll go to Insert and select a combo graph. So the automatic graph that Excel generates is pretty close to what we want. The only problem here is that we have 2 line graphs and 2 bar graphs. So we'll go down and select the chart type and change our third subject to be a line graph. Or sorry, bar graph. So now we have the triple bar graph with a line over top that's displaying our average data set. Last thing we have to do is just apply some formatting to make sure the graph is ready to go. So you can change the title of your chart. There's a possible descriptive title for the graph. One thing that you should notice though is that on our graph, I said we measured the water consumption over 10 classes, but keep in mind that since we only measured during our class, which happens every other day, there's some gaps in our data set where we didn't measure, and that's fine. So Excel automatically put those spaces in there for the days that we didn't measure and adjusted our line graph accordingly. So the last thing we can do is add our titles for each of the axes. So if we click to add chart element, axes title, we can add a horizontal and vertical axes title. Make sure you add the appropriate units as well with your axes titles. We don't really need an axes title here since the data set is listed as a date, which is pretty self-explanatory, but we'll put one there anyway. So this is pretty good. We still could fine-tune it if we want, adjust the colors and things like that, but that's pretty much good to go. So then to insert it into your Google Doc, just select the chart and go to copy, and then over to your Google Doc and click paste. And it will automatically put your chart in for you as a picture. Notice though that when I click off this, there is a little gray border here, so I can get rid of that if I go back to Excel. Go to Format Chart Area, and in the border section, change that to be no line. So that will take the line away from the outside of the graph. And now the next time I paste it, you'll see that it's a nice clean graph with no gray box around the outside.